go. We are live outside the weight room today. My name is Jodelle. I'm the on-site nutritionist here.
Try not to fall
and
off.
welcome Bunny, who is our newest staff member. Now, you have been staff before, but we missed you for the summer, so now you're back.
I took a sabbatical.
And her hazing today was to be on the Facebook Live
No
so
kidding.
that you guys can get to know her. You'll see her at the front desk on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Do we only get you on Thursdays?
I will fill in sometimes,
Okay.
some other times.
All right, awesome. Well, we've got a loaded Facebook Live for you today. You can ask questions at any time, so if you guys have questions, post them below. But I do have several topics that we are going to be topping about today, which is intermittent fasting. We're going to be talking about that because I get a lot of questions about should I be doing intermittent fasting? Also, magnesium. Why you might need it for things like leg cramps or restless legs. Yeah, Bunny has something to share about that. And then also macros. Have you tried counting your macros to see if you could get better results with your weight loss? And should you count your macros? Yeah, not macaroni. And also, I've got an idea for you. If you have to wear a mask, like we live in a world where that's kind of mandatory to go in some places, what can you do to make it a little more beneficial for you and not fun? So we're going to be talking about that too. All right, so let's
you can fit a whole lot of M&Ms in a mask. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
That's not my tip, but okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to start with intermittent fasting. So what exactly is intermittent fasting? Do you have an idea about what it is?
Well, there's a certain time of the day that you eat. Correct?
Yes.
You fast. I know you go longer without eating than the hours that you do eat.
Okay, so exactly.
Is that close?
And the word intermittent means that you do something for some times and you don't for other times. Now, intermittent fasting actually started with Professor Arnold Ehret back in 1910. He was the person that founded that word intermittent fasting. But his idea of intermittent fasting is a lot different than what we think about today. And we're going to be talking about like what types of fasts there are. Like, have you ever done a dry fast?
No.
Well, if you had to ever get prepared for surgery and they don't let you even have water, like you can only have like a little taste of that stupid pink sponge.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dry fast. So dry fast is like you don't have water, you don't have food, you have nothing. So not going to recommend that one to you unless it's like for medical reasons.
Why would someone do that?
It's big right now. People are trying anything.
With who?
In the kind of the bodybuilding, like the biohacker community. But it's very dangerous because you're putting your body at a lot of stress risk. So, is fasting safe? We're going to get to that too. But intermittent fasting basically means that you stop eating for a period and then you eat for a period. And you can go both ways by doing intermittent feasting and intermittent fasting. So you can have your time of feasting and your time of fasting. Yeah, I much prefer the feasting part than the fasting part. But it can be as simple as a 12-hour fast, which is what I really like people to start with. Does that sound like a lot, a 12-hour fast?
No, not if it's at night when you're sleeping.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Okay, so if you stop eating at 8 p.m. and you don't eat again until 8 a.m., intermittent fasting, you're doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah, that's what it should be because we need that fast at night to rest our digestive system. We need digestion to take place during the day, but then give your colon a little breather at night and let it calm down, do repair, turn over good healthy cells and stuff like that. So intermittent fasting can be as easy as you stop eating at 7 p.m., you start eating at 7 a.m. Now, some people go a little bit longer. They might go 14 hours. That's the maximum I would recommend for a woman, only because women's bodies need more calories than men more frequently. Because if you think about it, we're the ones that are supposed to be nursing the baby. We have more hormonal fluctuations. You know, that men aren't having a cycle every month. And when you go through that female cycle, your hormones are using more calories, they're using more energy from your body, so they require more frequent feeding. Okay, so for a man, he can go a little longer with a fasting period, but for a woman, 14 hours max. So that would be like stop eating at 7 and you don't eat again till 9 a.m. So that's the max. I don't recommend a big 24-hour fast or even a 20-hour fast. What were you going to say?
I'm just anxious for you to get to the part where that shows what the benefits are.
Jumping ahead. Okay.
I know, but, because I'm thinking, I'm sure weight loss is one of them.
Yes.
I think that's a reason a lot of people, but a lot of people do intermittent fasting. But there's got to be, I think there would be some healthy reasons.
Okay, good. So let's just talk about that. So why do people want to fast? Yes. So different schools of thought will have different reasons. Some people do it for weight loss, for leaning out, for losing extra pounds. It works really well for men doing that. Men can get super shredded.
Men can just look at the word weight loss and they drop 15 pounds.
I know.
I'm going to diet. Oh, I lost 10 pounds yesterday.
The husband and the wife can do the same protocol, and the wife loses like 2 pounds and the husband loses 20. Yeah. So I know. Yeah. That's called testosterone, okay? But also, men are more geared for losing weight. They don't have to carry a lot of weight because they're not in a position to carry a baby, okay? A female body, its main goal, its main created purpose was to be a housing for the baby. And if you think about animals in nature, what is the female's goal in nature? She's going to have the baby, right? The procreation is always happening within the animal kingdom. So women are...
A bunch of them.
Yeah. And women are more prone to carry fat because they have to secure the baby. They have to ensure that they have plenty of extra calories in order to carry and hold and have a good pregnancy. Now, men, on the other hand, we're going to get to that. Men, on the other hand, their job is to just get the food and get, into rut in the animal kingdom to provide the seed for the baby to grow. So they can stay lean, they can get lean, they can lose their winter weight really easy. So that's the difference there. Now, other schools of thought with intermittent fasting is something called autophagy or autophagy, whichever way you want to pronounce it.
You've said that before.
And that is like your body cleaning house, okay? Autophagy or autophagy is when the cells of your body have an opportunity to clean out the toxins, to get rid of kind of senescent cells, meaning old cells that aren't really doing anything. And so that's something that can be very beneficial to do, is to make room for autophagy. Now, there are other ways to have autophagy without super long fasts, but even that 12-hour fast at night is great for cleaning house. Like I said, your liver, your digestive process gets to reset, and it doesn't have to be eating food unless you're getting up in the night and eating. So that's probably something you don't want to do, because that's not going to be conducive for fasting or for health. So that being said,
as far as sleepwalk,
well, that happens. As far as like other benefits, I mean, people have seen benefits in skin health because, again, cleaning house, it's all part of that autophagy process. People have seen benefits in better digestion, like in getting rid of leaky gut syndrome. But again, that goes back to like rest and digest. You're letting that system rest and repair. The intestines turn over within 7 to 10 days. So some people within a week of intermittent fasting can go, wow, I'm not bloated. I don't have pain anymore. I don't have like cramping or diarrhea or whatever. So those are some of the benefits. Now, is fasting safe? That's the biggest question I get. Should I be fasting? Is it safe? It depends. That's the answer. And it depends. I know.
We want you to tell us yes or no.
Well, it depends on the person. Are they doing, what type of fast are they doing? Are they doing a water fast? Are they doing a dry fast? Are they doing a macro fast? Are they doing a juice fast? Okay. And what are their goals? If their goal is just weight loss and they're a female and they tell me, I'm just going to eat one meal a day, I'm going to fast for 20 hours, is that safe? I'm going to say no. Because I'll put a caveat on that. I'll say no if they're doing anything more than laying in bed all day. So if you're going to lay in bed all day and only have one meal a day,
that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But other than that, the female body needs a lot more frequent feedings. It doesn't have to be a lot of food, but it needs to be frequently feeding the body so that the female body doesn't say, we're in starvation, she's not feeding me, so whatever she does bring in, store immediately and don't burn any of it. Slow down thyroid, because we don't know when we're going to eat again, so we need to slow down the energy production. and turn up cortisol, which is your fat-storing stress hormone, because we're under attack, basically.
How does your body know the difference between when you're fasting and when you're starving?
Because it's always looking for things like amino acids and minerals to rebuild. We're always turning over cells. It's not just, you know how your esthetician says, oh, you're always sloughing off dead skin cells? Well, that's happening throughout your body. Your heart, your lungs, every orifice of your body, your eyeballs, everything's turning over all of the time. And so what that means is if your body's turning over and it doesn't have the right resources, guess where it's going to pull them from? Your own self. So you become catabolic. So if you're not feeding yourself protein regularly, you're going to convert those larger muscle groups, your thighs and your butt, into...
I have some large muscle groups.
into calories that your body can eat of itself so that it maintains the amino acids that it needs. We don't want that. That's going to slow down your thyroid. That's going to slow down your energy production. It's going to be you going up the stairs and feeling really winded at the top of the stairs because you're losing muscle in your biggest areas. And it can lead to...
I think I'd be fine for a while. But, okay, what... So let's say that I am going to try to do this intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Do I say I'm going to try it for a week? Does it become a lifestyle? Because aren't there people that probably that's what they do?
Yeah.
Their lifestyle.
Yeah. No, and I love that question because intermittent...
I try to please.
I know. Intermittent should be, yeah, I can do this. Like, I can do a 14-hour fast on Monday, but maybe Tuesday I'm going to do a 12-hour fast. I'm just going to eat, breakfast when I wake up, which is like 7 to 7. I'm going to fast. Then maybe Wednesday, I had a big dinner on Tuesday night with my family. So, and it was later than I normally eat. Maybe it was 8:30. I'm going to maybe not eat till 9 or 10 the next morning.
I was going to ask you that. So you can kind of change your schedule a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have things come up.
Yeah,
like
that's
what you said, like a family dinner or something.
If you
might push it back a few hours.
If you lived in the wild and we didn't have a grocery store in every corner, it would be you would eat when you would find something to eat.
Yeah.
So when you found a bush of berries.
I kind of do that. I don't live in the wild.
Yeah.
I eat when I find something.
So, I mean, we mimic that by changing things based on our circumstances. But, however, one thing about intermittent fasting is it's going to work better for you if you follow circadian rhythm. I know you love that word. Not cicadas.
Every 7 years.
Right. Circadian rhythm, which means that the closer you can eat to when it's light out and have your fasting during light hours and then have your feasting during light hours and then start fasting during dark hours, that's going to match circadian rhythm to your body because your body naturally sees that light go down at night and goes, oh, rest and digest. I can now calm down. I don't really want to eat anything. I want myself to calm down and rebuild. But if you start feeding it late at night, maybe you haven't eaten all day because you've been in a hurry and you're like, oh, I'm starving. It's 8 o'clock at night. I just got home. I'm going to pound anything that comes into my sight. The first thing I see, it's a recipe for disaster. So that's a recipe for weight gain, basically, because you're eating according to your cortisol schedule instead of according to your circadian rhythm.
So, but if you are starving at that time, what's a good thing to eat? Or should you just try not to?
Well, you don't want to get into a habit of not eating all day until you get home at night. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
However, if the circumstances come up, you would still want to have just a balanced meal. You wouldn't want to overeat. But the caveat is most people get to that spot and they've been so go, run, high stress all day. You can't make a good informed decision at that time. So chances are you're going to reach for whatever's there. So that's why it's really important, especially for women, to plan your meals, frequent feeds throughout the day, and whether it's a 12 or 14-hour fast, that's fine, but don't skip meals because you're going to get to later in the day, and all of a sudden when that cortisol comes down because your body's winding down, the hunger signal is going to go up because your body's like, finally, she's not stressed, she lowered cortisol, I can finally eat, so give me whatever is in front of me. Blood sugar drops when cortisol drops. So when blood sugar goes low, then your body's like can't form a good thought, and it starts to reach for, whatever anybody's having around you, or that's when you go through the drive-through because it's the fastest thing you can shove in the gullet. So you want to moderate comments for me, and if anybody makes a comment, I will answer their question. I only see Debbie. Hi, Debbie. But none yet. But if you guys have comments or questions, go ahead and post them there. So that is the part about just basic fast. Now, what about a water fast? Now, this would be good to do if you're feeling really like, I have the COVID, or I'm coming down with something. Think about the animal kingdom again. When they don't feel good, are they going to go, I'm going to go have pizza right now, even though I feel like crap? Like they stop eating. Like watch your dog. When they don't feel good, they either eat grass or they stop eating. Mm-hmm. And so water fast can be really good if you think you're coming down with something. You can rest, get in bed, rest. Don't just go through and come into the gym and do a killer 2-hour workout and then do a water fast. Not a good idea. But use that water fast as a chance to heal. Maybe just 1 day water fast, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe you went to a big family function and you way overate and you totally blew it out the window. Maybe the next day is a water fast, But I would still do something like maybe some branched chain amino acids, just so you're getting amino acids in and you don't break down your own muscle the next day.
I was going to ask you, like, lemon in your water? Yeah. That'd be okay?
Yeah, oh yeah. Lemon, do the whole little master cleanse thing where they do the lemon, the maple syrup, and the cayenne pepper. Not my thing, but I mean, people swear by it as far as like cleansing the system. It's not just for weight loss. It's actually really good for liver detox. So
that doesn't sound like it's going to be successful in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, you're going to have some
maple syrup,
green apple splatters and stuff like that. But
maple syrup and cayenne pepper.
That's what the master cleanse is. It's like lemon juice and water, a little dash of maple syrup, and some cayenne pepper. So anyway, macro fasting. So that's a fancy term for saying you eliminate one macro. So either you eliminate proteins, you eliminate carbs, or you eliminate fat. Okay, and so those are your three main macros. Macronutrients.
So you still have macaroni and cheese.
No, macaroni and cheese. No, macronutrients. Your three main that the cells of your body need are protein, carbs, and fat. So if you eliminate one of those, you are doing a form of fasting. So a low carb or a keto diet is a carb fast. Okay. Then you have the low fat diet. That would be a fat fast, right? Or if you're on a low protein diet, that would be a protein fast. So that's what I'm saying is like you can do those as well, but there has to be a specific purpose in mind. Let's say that you went to the doctor and you found out that you're diabetic or pre-diabetic. Might be a good time to just get that A1C down, the insulin down, and go on a low carb fast for a time, not for life. So get your sugars back in check and then reintroduce healthy carbs in a healthy way. And perhaps working with a nutritionist can help.
So when you say for a time, are we talking 3 or 4 days?
No, for that kind of scenario, let's say somebody found out they were pre-diabetic, I would recommend like 2 weeks max. And then after that, we're going to slowly work in some carb cycling, I call it. So like we might have a day where we eat a little higher carbs, and then we go to a low carb day, and a little higher carbs, and a low carb day. And you start to teach your body how to work with carbs and produce insulin again. Because people don't talk about it, but diabetes is very reversible. Mm-hmm. Very much you can not be diabetic even if you were at one time. So don't let yourself be fooled that you have to be on metformin or diabetic diets for the rest of your life. The same with like a gallbladder issue. Let's say you had your gallbladder out or you had a severe attack of your gallbladder. Maybe that would be a time when you'd want to go through some low-fat dieting for a while. That would be a low-fat fast. So there are specific scenarios for like macro fasting. But in general, for good health, you want all three of your nutrients intact for a balanced approach of just optimizing your health. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, then juice fasts. Let's say you do have some sort of a viral load that you're trying to knock down, or you do have a cold, but you want to eat something because you're hungry and you want to get a lot of vitamins and minerals. That would be a time to do like a juice fast, where you just did juices for maybe 3 days and that's it. No more than that. But that can be a way to keep those good carbs and your amino acids coming in while you're putting your body at rest. It could also be like you had something go on with your colon. So maybe you're not digesting hard to digest foods like vegetables and grains and things like that. So maybe for 3 days to calm your colon down, you're going to do a juice fast. Right. So how long? All right. Well, we talked about the 12 hours. Some people are doing 24 hours. Some people are doing what's called a 5-2, where they eat regularly for 5 days and then they do a 2-day fast.
Ooh.
Alternate day fasting.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah. It's not fun.
Okay, so let's say on a fast like that,
Yeah.
you eat for 5 days, fast for 2, you're still allowed water.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee.
Yeah. Oh, the only one that you don't allow water would be a dry fast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
That's
see.
what I mean.
You've got a good question there. So what constitutes a fast?
Yeah.
Okay. So
what are you allowed?
Different. Now, this is my opinion as what I've done research on, but other people are going to say, no, a fast is nothing but water. Or a dry faster is going to say, no, a fast is nothing but nothing. So a breatharian, if you will, where you're just breathing during the day and that's it.
If you stay alive.
Non-caloric beverages, basically. So like during a fast, let's say you did want to do a fast for like 24 hours. Maybe you had the flu and you want to give yourself one more day rest before you started eating again. So water, coffee with nothing in it, black coffee, black teas or herbal teas, nothing in them. Club sodas like seltzer waters and stuff like that, nothing in them, no flavors or anything like that. That would be the mainstay of what I would say. Anything outside of that, milk or juice is going to have calories, so that's not going to that's going to break your fast.
So is that you can only have those during your time that you're allowed, or you can have that during the fasting time too?
That's the fasting time. And then
so like if I'm done eating at 8 o'clock at night, I can still have water.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
because you might need that.
Okay.
So yeah, like if you're gonna stop eating at 7, but after dinner you want a club soda. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So that'll be fine. Maybe you want to put a little bit of lemon in it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You're gonna get like 1 calorie, so it's not gonna put your digestion. If anything, it's gonna help that digestive process calm down. But yeah, anything outside of that, I would say you're like a lot of people will say, well, can I put coconut oil in my coffee and fast all day? That's kind of the big trend right now is like this bulletproof coffee, but then I don't eat till 2 or whatever. I don't love that. Like, in what land did we love
that.
In what land did we like seek out coconuts and then put them in our coffee? And that seems like paleo or natural. Like it really doesn't. Like, if you're going to eat coconut, that's food. Like, that's part of your feasting. That's not part of your fasting. So, yeah, I would just say black coffee if you need to do it. And even on fasting days, if you're dealing with high cortisol and or high stress, high anxiety, I would say skip the coffee because that's only going to make matters worse. You actually can elevate your cortisol and drop your blood sugar even further when you're drinking a caffeinated beverage while you're trying to fast. So it depends on the person when it comes to all these different fasts. Now, who should fast and who shouldn't, okay? Like I said, women should do less fasting and men can do a little bit longer. Men can do the whole 16 to 20 hours if they want to, do the whole 1 meal a day and they'll be fine. They're the hunter-gatherers, remember? So they went out and they gathered for the women while the women would be back with the babies and nursing and taking care of children at the village. So we have different mechanisms. Men don't have a cycle. They have a steady stream of testosterone all through the month. Ours is like up and down, and estrogen's up and down, and progesterone's up and down. So we are going to naturally have days when we need more calories, days when we need less. Times in our day that we need more calories, times when we need less. So again, women have to be more careful with fasting. They're going to cause more damage if they tend to do longer fasts than they will do good. And then who shouldn't fast? Obviously, pregnant women should probably not fast.
Yeah.
Obviously, anybody dealing with some sort of a blood sugar issue. So if you have hypoglycemia, you're not going to do well fasting, and you're not going to like it very much because you're going to drop, you're going to get lightheaded, you're going to feel cranky, you're going to turn into those Snickers commercials where you're like a diva, So I don't recommend that for people with low blood sugar. Now, high blood sugar, yeah, because that'll give your body a chance to regulate that insulin and regulate the blood sugar. So who else shouldn't fast would be like as far as macro fasting. So people who are epileptic seizure patients do really well on a keto diet. long term. And that's all I'm going to say for people that should be doing keto long term is if you have epileptic seizures. I'm having one right now.
It's a blooper.
But if you don't, then I don't recommend constant low carb dieting or that macro, losing that macro for more than 2 weeks. You could do some cycling. You could do a low carb day, high carb day, depending on and I'm actually working on a meal plan that I plan to offer to the community as like a purchase meal plan on my website of how to carb cycle, because it is really effective for weight loss. And doing it with your workouts, you eat higher carbs on your workout days, lower carb on your non-workout days, or higher carb on your active days, like maybe you're a hiker or a biker, and then lower carb on your not so active days. Okay.
We do have a question.
Ooh, let's see. Who is
We have a couple questions.
Okay.
Melody asked, how much water should you drink daily?
Oh, good question, Melody. Okay, so my recommendation is always half your body weight in ounces for a general rule of thumb. Now, that's a general non-active day, like just a normal day. If you have higher activity and if you have more exposure to heat and sweating a lot more, then you need a little bit more than that. So it's, I carry around this guy here. It's like 64 ounces. And that's a little less than half my body weight, but I eat fruit too, because you can get water from starchy vegetables and starchy fruits too that hold water.
I think some carrier jets have that on the undercarriage of their plane.
So I try to drink this a day and then have fruits that give me a little bit water on top of this, because that would be half my body weight. Now, if I'm teaching a class like I did today, then I'm going to even drink more than this at some point. I have my amino acids in my basket with water in it, and I'll drink those too.
Do you feel like there's a time a person can drink too much water?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Hypernatremia. So that's where you get too much water, and then you're peeing every 5 minutes. Your body's telling you something. That's too much water.
And then we have one from a Debbie Williams.
That happens to be your sister.
I happen to know her. Do you recommend a decaf coffee brand?
Oh, I do.
Because some of them are way better decaf than others.
So you want to look for a Swiss water process decaf, because all other decafs are processed with formaldehyde for the most part.
Oh.
Not something we want exposed to. So what you're looking for is for it to say either chemical-free water process or Swiss water process or mountain water process.
So it'll say that on the...
It should. And so some brands that are local that I love is Mountain Bird Coffee out of Springfield, and they have Dang Good Decaf, and it's just that. It's like Dang Good Decaf. Also, I think...
that's the name of it?
Something Canyon. There's something
decaf.
Canyon that Mama Jean's here locally carries, and they have a really good chemical-free process. Kicking Horse makes one, a Swiss water process. Kicking Horse Coffee, that's one you can get online. And then I like Pure Roast. Pure Roast makes one too. So those are some brands I like. Okay. Oh, Dr. Charles Livingston. Do you know that name?
Yes.
Okay. Who is he?
I don't know, but you've said him before, haven't you?
No, I looked up this coffee that's crazy expensive, and it's called Life Boost Coffee. LifeBoostCoffee.com. I think you can look it up. Crazy expensive coffee, but Dr. Charles Livingston, I know he's somebody. But
Do you want me to look him up?
Sure, you can.
While we're here? Okay.
I know he's somebody, but I don't know who he is.
I've heard that name
so,
before.
Anyway, he makes his own coffee company, and I really liked the way he explained everything about his coffee, but I've never tried it, and it's really expensive, so I'm not going to spend that kind of money.
Okay.
So while she's doing that, let's move on to how to break the fast, okay? That's our last little topic here. So you're going through a fast, maybe you did a 24-hour fast, and then you want to break the fast. The worst thing you can do is eat a lot of food when you get done with your fast, because that's a recipe for green apple splatters in the toilet, okay? Your digestive system's been really calmed down, and if you introduce a lot of food at one time, you're going to be having the trots or whatever you want to call it. So what you want to do is introduce food slowly after a fast. So maybe something small like a piece of fruit, and then you move on to more of some cooked vegetables. Then you might have your protein, like whatever your meat is. And then you kind of wrap it up with like a good healthy piece of dark chocolate for a nice fat at the end or something. So just do something mild and then resume normal eating after that. Okay? All right. Moving on to magnesium. If we don't have any questions, get that fly out of here.
I'm looking for, so Dr. Charles Livingston, he is known for he's a chiropractor, and he's known for his fat loss factor weight loss program.
Okay.
But I'm looking for, he's written a lot of books. He's a motivational speaker about cleansing, exercising, and eating healthy.
Okay.
And it says he lives what he teaches.
All right.
I'm looking for, you said coffee?
Yeah, I might not be there, but
Okay.
anyway, look, that's another brand they can check into, is Life Boost coffee that's made by
Okay.
this Dr. Charles Livingston. Because I don't want to spend the money on it, but maybe somebody else will, because he has some really good flavored coffees that's hard to find in like
that
low
would be good.
mycotoxin and low toxicity. Like coffee can carry mold, and his doesn't. Like, so he claims it says low mycotoxin coffee. So
Well, I'm looking up coffee. Go ahead.
So anyway, magnesium was a topic I wanted to bring up because I get a lot of people that say, yeah, that's it.
That's it, Life Boost Coffee.
I get a lot of people that say, why do I get cramps in your workout classes, or when I'm working out, my legs start aching,
Or when you're just sleeping in bed.
I'm having trouble sleeping. I get that all the time. And I have people that will come to me for nutrition, and I'm going to tell you 99% of the time I'm putting people on magnesium because they're all deficient. I have them fill out a 321 questionnaire called my symptom burden analysis.
321 questions?
Yes. I needed that one last question, so it's 321.
Well, that's when you can fill that out while you're not sleeping
It
at
takes
night.
about 25 minutes to fill out online, but what it does is it's a symptom picture. It tells me things that are going on in your system that you might not even know is a symptom, like white spots on your fingernails, or cracks in your tongue, or air hunger, where you're like all the time. Okay, that's a symptom. We shouldn't be trying to take a breath all the time, where it's almost like your air hunger. So they fill that out, and 99% of the people are low on magnesium, and because it'll show me deficiencies and things like that based on symptoms. Symptoms don't lie. They are a message from your body saying, I need this, fill in the blank, and it's usually things like minerals. Minerals are really key for the body. But if I could put my voicemail on to say, stop the gluten, take magnesium, and work on your thyroid, and then call me if none of that works, and I'll be happy to work with you. I mean, that's the main things that I'm seeing nowadays. So magnesium is your calming mineral. And wow, do we need calm in the world we live in today. Oh my gosh. And so because we live in this world where we're not calm, we're using a lot more of our magnesium than ever before, which is why so many people are deficient. Every time you're under more and more stress, every time you go into the grocery store and you're reminded that we live in mass world now, like, that's stressful. So it makes us use up our stores of minerals, especially magnesium. So we need it now more than ever, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. So could you be magnesium deficient?
I think I am. I think I could be.
Because I've worked with you before, so I know. But yeah, so some of the symptoms like lack of sleep, not able to sleep, insomnia is a huge one for people. If I've seen people fix their sleep just by supplementing magnesium. They're like, where was this all my life? Like, that's all I needed? I just needed magnesium and now I can sleep fine? Yes. Leg cramps and cramping during exercise and restless leg at night are all signs of deficiency. Eye twitches, when you have that little like, and you're like, stop! That is a muscle spasm based on the fact that you've run out of magnesium. Okay, heart palpitations. Do you ever lay in bed at night and you feel like you could go run a marathon, or you are running a marathon because of your heart racing? Kind of that vibrating body feel. Okay, how about things like heart palpitations when you're sitting at work? All of a sudden you get this like pump, 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 pump. And you're like, what is going on? I'm not doing anything. Okay, that's low magnesium. How about overly irritable? And like everything somebody says to you, you're just going to bite their head off. That is low magnesium. How about digestive problems? And constipation is a big one. If you're chronically constipated, that would be low magnesium for sure. See, magnesium pulls water into the bowels to help you eliminate. So if you're low on magnesium, you don't have the water coming into the bowels to help you eliminate. Do you like my hand movements there?
Yes.
Brain fog. Did you know
it makes it almost seem graceful.
You want that little poo to be a scuba diver, a little brown guy that just like scuba dives into
to bring it up. He almost got through without you saying it.
You know me. I love talking about poo. all you members of the gym, if you want to talk about poo with me, you just come in and you tell me, what does your poo look like? And I'll tell you what's going on with you. Because it doesn't bother me.
And then you also have to know that you don't have to do that.
Just don't do it in front of her because she gets grossed out. PMS, painful periods. So if you have any sort of, well, I know, but at one time, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. You have breast tenderness, cramping, bloated. That is all indicative of low magnesium and high estrogen, because your estrogen will actually elevate when your magnesium tanks. Okay. We don't want any more estrogen than we already have. We have plenty. Okay. Men and women, we have plenty. We're exposed to estrogen through all these plastics that we're touching all day long too. So we don't need any more. So PMS, painful periods, chocolate cravings. Did you crave chocolate? Huge for magnesium because cocoa powder is high in magnesium.
Oh.
So you'll crave certain foods based on the fact that you need magnesium. Do you crave peanut butter? Peanuts
Why can't it just be the fact that you like it?
Well, that's fine. But I will tell you, I used to have chocolate cravings, and it's only I get them now if I run out of magnesium. I can see a difference. I don't need chocolate unless I run out of magnesium.
But it's so good.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you can't eat it. I'm just saying, do you want to conquer your cravings and just eat it when you want to versus you see it and you're like, I have to have that. Okay, yeah. So migraines or frequent headaches, that's also indicative of low magnesium. So if you constantly have this low-grade headache every day, that's chances are you need magnesium. How are we doing on questions? Any questions?
Whenever you go to the doctor about a migraine, do they ever say, hey, let's check your magnesium?
No, and that's the trouble is like you're going to go into a doctor and say, I have a headache, and they're going to go, well, let me put you on Topamax or Imitrex or
that's
something.
what I was thinking.
Because that's a quick fix for them. They have 90 other thousand patients to see that day, so they don't take the time to go, well, does your house have water damage? Could you have mold? What's your mineral status? Are you taking magnesium? Do you have leg cramps? Do you get insomnia? Like, they're not asking these kinds of questions because they don't have time.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're dealing with all these people that are like, I think I have COVID, like, so, yeah, so it's like they got to get through all these patients. So that's why nutritionists and health coaching is kind of the new thing of 2020. Like, people aren't getting answers from their doctor, and the medications aren't working, and we're going to be talking about why they're not helping. In most cases, some medicines are, but in most cases. So that's why people are turning to things like nutritionists and health coaching, because they just aren't getting answers.
Well, and even when you have all the doctors are doing stuff virtual now. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how can you tell if I'm swollen or not by, looking at me?
Yeah, for sure, because
they don't want you to come in the office.
Had to look at your tongue, they had to look at your eyes, they had to look in your ears, they had to look at your face.
They felt
everything, and they don't do that anymore. And that you learn so much by looking at the fingernails and looking at the tongue and looking at the eyes. What are the eyes saying? Are the eyes constantly red? That could be an issue with the liver or the kidneys.
We got a question.
Okay.
Brian and Tiffany want to know, how much magnesium should you take a day?
Oh, we're going there. Like, just you wait.
It doesn't have to do with going to the bathroom.
We can talk about that now, though, but I am going to get back into what other things cause low magnesium, and so you'll understand why. But in general, I'm going to go a little bit above the recommended standards and say men should take about 800 milligrams a day, and women around 600 at the bare minimum. More than
800?
Yes. Now,
there's
different forms, and we're going to come back to that, because if you take the wrong form, you could have elimination in the stool department that won't be so fun. So magnesium, remember, pulls water into the bowels. You take too much, that's the worst symptom you're going to get, is a loose stool. All right, so why are you deficient? We use magnesium up via sweating, exercise, anxiety bouts, blue light exposure. So if you're working on a computer all day, chances are you're going to be deficient. Taking meds like Prilosec and other acid blockers, taking meds like Lasix and other blood pressure meds, taking medications or antibiotics such as Cipro, those are all going to cause you to be magnesium deficient. They pull magnesium out of your body.
So like even just looking at your computer or playing on your phone, which I'm not sure who does that.
Oh my gosh.
That pulls magnesium from your body.
Mm-hmm. Your body has to use more of it to deal with the cellular damage from the blue light.
What if you're doing an educational game?
It doesn't matter. You're still getting cellular damage from this says EMF, electromagnetic radiation, and blue light is also EMF. So your body has to work harder to deal with the stress from the device. So one thing you could do is turn your device on red light mode only, and I can talk you through that if we ever need to do that.
Red light?
Solid red light. None of this night shift mode. That's just crap.
Red light. I always think I have something figured out.
I know I've did that before, but you just forgot. And then they also have apps for your computer that make it red, so you're not getting the blue light. That would be one less exposure. Also, wearing blue light blocking glasses. So I have mine on, even though we're outside, I still have the light from my computer. So I wear these. You can get them too. You get swanwicksleep.com and you use my code GETFIT. You get 10% off. They're kind of funky, aren't they?
Yeah, they're funky.
Okay. So that being said, like, could you talk to your doctor about, do I really need these meds? Because maybe then I wouldn't need a magnesium supplement if I wasn't taking these meds. Also, could you calm your body by not having so much blue light exposure, not having so much time on your phone? Be outside more, and that's going to lessen the amount of magnesium that you're pulling from your body. Lack of sleep. If you are low on magnesium and then all of a sudden you can't sleep, then it's a double whammy because it's robbing you of magnesium. What little you have is getting worse and worse. And that's when the restless leg comes in, where you're like, I can't sleep because my legs won't stop moving. That's really irritating.
Very.
How about fasting and going keto too long? That will dump all your minerals. You will dump everything, including magnesium. So again, another reason to be cautious with your fasting for too long. Then during menstruation, women actually need more magnesium. So right before you know your period's going to start, load up on magnesium, because those little capillaries in your tissues, in your uterus, in your pelvic area, they don't dilate without magnesium. So if you're low on magnesium, they tighten up the little capillaries that blood's supposed to go down through, and that's called cramping. Your body's trying to push push that stuff out really hard, and it can't do it without magnesium, so you seize up, okay? It's just like getting a leg cramp, but you're getting a abdomen cramp to push the period out. So lack of mineral-rich soil in the food that is now grown today is another reason we're low on magnesium. We never used to be, because we used to have a lot of magnesium in our soil, but we don't anymore. And alcohol consumption. I was waiting for that. You kind of delayed on me a little bit. But yes, alcohol consumption actually destroys your minerals. I was hoping
you had made a mistake.
Especially
like even
magnesium.
One glass of wine?
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, alcohol needs to be a once-in-a-while thing, not a daily thing. And that's why you tend to crave chocolate after your wine, is because the wine has now depleted you of magnesium. So that's why chocolate tastes so much better with your wine.
Ooh, it does.
And that's why you wake up thirsty, puffy, and bloated after a night on the town, because you have now exhausted all your mineral sources from the alcohol. Another thing is gluten. So if you eat a high gluten diet, gluten is what's called an anti-nutrient, meaning it pulls nutrients out of your body, and one of those is magnesium. So you will be
gluten
low.
Just isn't good for you.
I know. That's why I said if my voicemail could just say stop the gluten, take magnesium, and work on your thyroid, everybody's life
you
would
wouldn't
change.
have a job.
I know. I'd be done. So yeah. So it's a good idea to check your vitamin D levels as well. Low vitamin D is also associated with low magnesium. So go to your doctor and request a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. If you don't have a doctor, you can do it online, really cheap and easy. You can go to places like healthlabs.com, go to order your little test, and go to your local Quest Labs that's in Branson. They'll take your blood and you'll have your results in 24 hours. So then you'll know. You want your vitamin D to be between 50 and 100. If it's not, start supplementing with D and get out in the sunshine. And then also take magnesium, because now it'll be better absorbed in your body. I was waiting for a question, but there wasn't. Okay. So
no one's asked us anything in a while.
That's okay. So gut health is also imperative to optimizing your overall health. So that's why I always work with everybody's gut when they come to me for nutrition, because if the food is not moving through you, magnesium is a must. We have to get the bowels moving. Magnesium draws water, remember, into your bowels and keeps them moving. One of the main ways your body gets rid of excess estrogens that we talked about is through the bowel movements. Okay, estrogens are your fat-storing hormone at puberty. We get boobs, hips, thighs the way you're supposed to, but if you have too much estrogen, whether you're a male or a female, later in life, you're going to get curves in all those places you didn't want to have curves. Okay, so excess estrogen, we're being exposed to plastics and chemicals in our new cars and things like that, and the radiation, all of that is a stressor on our body. When stress comes up, estrogen goes up. We've seen a lot of weight gain. You know, everybody's calling it the COVID-19 that they've gained, or the quarantine 15. Okay, that's because of the stress we were under. Cortisol goes up, estrogen goes up. Okay, when estrogen goes up, you start storing fat. If we want to get rid of that estrogen, oh, by the way, hand sanitizer loaded with chemicals that elevate estrogen. So if you can use, talk to our on-site oils girl, Mandy, and have her help you make a hand sanitizing spray that's just essential oils. Bingo. Like, forget this hand sanitizer crap. It's got triclosan in it, which affects your thyroid. It will slow down your thyroid.
Isn't that the stuff in turkey that makes you sleepy?
That's tryptophan. Triclosan is a man-made chemical that
when I make a poem next time, I'll know what words to use to rhyme.
Okay, but going back to the bowels, I'd like to buy a bowel. I always have to say that.
Pat.
If they aren't happening, then you're recycling those estrogens back into your system, and you're putting on more weight. Okay, so we have to get magnesium in to move the bowels and get the estrogens out. Okay.
Is bowels and poop about your favorite subjects?
It's just so important.
But I mean, I think we could talk about this wall.
And I keep telling my 6-year-old, stop talking about poop and farts. And
yeah,
now I'm going, wait a second. Now I know why.
Exactly.
Okay, magnesium helps with liver detox, producing the sex hormones that aids in sleep. So your testosterone aids in sleep, your progesterone, and that's all regulated by the liver. The liver regulates your sex hormones. So magnesium helps the liver detox, because if there's too much going on, then the liver can't detox. So that's why that's so important. Magnesium balances the electrolytes in your cells and regulates cellular energy. Without cellular energy, remember that the cells of your body have little engines in them called mitochondria. Okay, those are your engine factories. They pump the energy into your body. And without magnesium, your cells malfunction, causing spasms in your head, headaches, leg cramps, and eye twitches. Okay, and also fatigue. You'll get chronic fatigue without magnesium. And even though it's your calming mineral, you don't feel calm when you have chronic fatigue. You're trying to get stuff done, so it's a stressor when you have no energy. Okay, magnesium is responsible for over 300 processes in your body. Okay, so nothing.
Magnesium by itself?
Yes, just by itself, that mineral, over 300 processes. And dosing it is easy when you watch your bowels. Like I said, like if they get loose, then you're taking too much.
Loose, tight, whatever kind of bowels.
If you still aren't going daily, you should be going daily, so that's too little. So it's the Goldilocks effect. Find that perfect range. And like I said, that's generally about 800 for men, 600 for women. Citrate, magnesium citrate is going to cause more loose stools. Glycinate's more going to calm your body without affecting the stools too much. There's other ones like threonate, which I really like for people that need it more for brain health and cognition. And then oxide, forget about it. Those are the cheap ones you're going to see at Walmart. You won't absorb that, so do not take a magnesium oxide. Now, Bunny has been drinking one of our newest drinks, the Jocko Go, and this is a wonderful physical energy boost without a lot of stimulant. It does have a little bit of caffeine in it, like a cup of coffee. And then it also is for cognition, so it has things in it like alpha GPC and L-theanine, which is kind of creates a relaxed alertness. But what it also has is magnesium citrate, so it helps with the bowels. So it's not a huge amount, it's only 50 milligrams, and like I said, the average person is going to want to have about 600 to 800 a day milligrams. So, but this is a good start. You could have this as part of your workout, and then that way you're going to add some magnesium around your workout so that you avoid the leg cramps.
I was just going to ask, so as an adult female, 600 to 800. So if I am eating a lot of foods that have magnesium in it, Should I take that into account when I take my supplement?
Not necessarily. I mean, you can, but like I said, the foods that we eat today are not in a magnesium-rich soil. So unfortunately, you're not getting a lot.
Okay.
I will say I like cocoa powder. I like to mix it in protein
too.
shakes, or mix it into like your oatmeal, make it a little chocolatey oatmeal or something.
Yeah,
Because it is really high in magnesium naturally. It's just a real high magnesium food. So that one I love. Black-eyed peas.
So like a Happy's Bean Freeze is really good for you?
Sugar is going to be the culprit there. Those high fructose corn syrups are going to throw magnesium out.
But the beans, the cocoa beans.
How about just a nice black coffee? Okay, coffee actually has a bit of magnesium in it naturally, kind of like the cocoa bean. All right.
Someone asked, how much magnesium does a teen girl need?
And someone says, Dobie or Dobby Youngblood says, I think poo is interesting too.
So no, Dobie. No.
What did she
Dobie and Jodelle need to.
Oh, Alyssa, great question. So how much does a teen girl
need
to take daily? Okay, so depending
let's talk
on
about teenagers.
The smaller the person, let's say she weighs 90 to 100 pounds, maybe she's real petite, I would go more on the 300 to 400 magnesium level for that. The bigger the person, let's say it's a guy and he works out and he's 300 pounds or something like that.
That's
We're going to need roughly about 1,000 milligrams. So there is a range. The smaller you are, maybe the less you need. The less active you are, the less you need. The more active you are, the more you need. And also not necessarily. If you are it also depends on the type of thinker you are. If you're an overthinker, an overanalyzer, you're high thinker, you're high anxiety, you need more. Okay?
How would they tell, like if they, let's say a teenager, or just anybody, started taking magnesium, how long would it take till they'd be able to say, oh, I think this is helping, or maybe I'm not taking enough, I need to, how long will you see a difference?
Yeah, so for sure, within the first day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as soon as they take it and they've had issues with like their bowels or their leg cramps, they're going to see it within the day, or their sleep, like maybe that night they're going to sleep really good. Other than that, some people don't notice it if they're not as deficient. Maybe after a week, they're like, oh, I've noticed I have less anxiety, or I feel less depressed. I feel more calm. And so, yeah, it depends on what the issue is the symptom that's been going on that they're trying to address. But most likely, I have people that tell me the very next day, oh my gosh, I took magnesium last night and I slept like a baby. So, as for sleep, if it's a sleep issue, I would recommend a higher dose starting out. Like women try 600, but if you didn't see improvement in your sleep, bump it up to 800 the next night. If your bowels are still not loose and you didn't see an improvement, I take 1,200 milligrams a day of magnesium. So that I'm tall, I'm active, I'm an overthinker, I'm high strung, so I need a lot more than the average dosage. I'm just being safe by saying 600 to 800. So. Okay, macro tracking. Let's talk about macro tracking. We only have a little bit of time left, so we're just going to talk briefly about this. So one tip I wanted to give you guys as far as like your macros, like I mentioned, are your protein, your fats, and your carbohydrates. And a good rule of thumb is to see where you are with your macros before you even start trying a diet. So one way to do this is like everybody has like MyFitnessPal or Lose It or some sort of tracking device. Most everybody does. Their Fitbit has it or whatever. And it's a good idea to just a random day, just track all your calories. Don't change anything. Just track all your calories and see what you're getting. See if you're getting, how many grams of carbohydrates do you average? How many grams of fat do you average? How many grams of protein? And then notice where you're lacking. What if you notice that you're getting a lot of carbohydrates but very little protein? Could you alter that and add some more protein in and dial your carbs down a little bit and see if you get results? Okay. Another thing is to pre-make your meals. After you figure that out, maybe the next day before you even eat your food, go into your MyFitnessPal and write everything down that you think you're going to eat that day. Like maybe you've even packed your meals, you did some meal prep, you made some stuff. And you go ahead and put it in and check it and go, oh, that's going to be a good day. I got about 50% carbs, 30% protein, 20% fat. That's roughly a really good way to actually, that's a good blend of macros to see some weight loss, especially if you're active. If you're not as active, you can go like 40, 30, 30 or something. So, or would that add up? Yeah, okay. I'm not a mathematician. But I just wanted people to get aware of macros can really help you with regard to weight loss. So start by just noticing it. Now, you don't want to get dogmatic and every day you're like feverishly tracking your macros because that can create obsessions. But a good 2-week stint of like tracking and just noticing what the trend is in your eating and seeing where you can tweak things in the right direction can really help you see more results. Maybe you'll notice that you're working out really hard. You're doing 2 classes maybe on one day coming in here, and you're only getting 1,200 calories, and not even half of those are carbs, and you feel low on energy. You don't perform well during the workout. Maybe you can say, wow, maybe I need more carbs on those days. Maybe I need more calories. Maybe I want to bump up my carbs. I want to bump up my protein. I want to add just a little bit more fat and see what happens. And it's a good thing to be trial and error. You are your own scientific experiment. So play around with things and see what you can improve on. And you might Google and look up some like different methods of macros. Like I said, some people do 50% carbohydrates, 30% protein, and 20% fat. Some bodybuilders like to do 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. So there's a range that you can play around with and see what works for you. But that creates a more balanced approach. You're getting all your macros, but in the right amount that can fuel your body for movement and for results. That was just a little tip I wanted to throw in there. Any questions on macros or tracking?
I was just confused because I thought you would want less carbs.
It depends on what you need it for.
Okay.
I mean, around your workouts, I'd like to see people eat carbs. You know, have a bowl of oatmeal with some protein powder thrown in it in the morning, like a vanilla protein powder and some cinnamon, and have that be your pre-workout breakfast. Then maybe a mid-morning snack after your workout. You're going to have like a Baby Bell and a cutie or something. And then for lunch, you're going to have some veggies dipped in hummus and maybe a side of chicken or something like that. And maybe your mid-afternoon snack, you're going to have some beef jerky and some sugar snap peas or something. And then for dinner, you're going to have like a potato and a meat and a veggie. You know, that way you're getting well-rounded throughout the day. You haven't skimped on carbs, but it hasn't been overt. I mean, that whole day was probably 125, maybe 130 carbohydrates.
Yeah. Which
is considered low by some standards, especially because of the fiber in there that throws out a lot of the conversion to sugar. So, yeah. And protein's really where it's at. So make sure your protein is dialed in. Protein's really important to have about half your body weight in grams of protein at the bare minimum every day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're looking at 75 grams of protein a day. And that's easily done by having, you know, some eggs in the morning, some cottage cheese at lunch, and some snacks throughout the day, and then like a chicken breast or a steak at dinner. So I mean, that's very doable. Hi, Colin. Then if you're 200 pounds, you need 100 grams of protein a day. So that just is like you get a bigger portion of protein. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yep.
Okay, moving right along. I don't see any questions on macros. Do you?
No.
Okay. So we're going to talk about masks now, and this is just a quick healthy tip. Probably some of you already know this, especially those of you that like to get into oils and things like that, which is a really cool thing because you can take this mask and make it beneficial by taking 1 drop of oil, of your favorite oil, and putting it right inside the center of the mask so you breathe it in, okay? But what I wanted to talk about was what oils could be cool, and Mandy's going to know more about this. She's the oils girl, so talk to her too. But what oils could be cool for certain ways that you need to get through your day? So things like you want to feel happy and calm when you go into the Maniac grocery store, right? Orange oil. Stick a little drop of orange oil in your mask and breathe that in. You're just going to feel like it's a sunny Florida day inside my mask, right? My favorite right now is grapefruit oil. Okay, so grapefruit oil kills viruses. And it kills mold. And I have always dealt with this kind of ongoing toxic mold issue exposure. And so as I breathe in the grapefruit, it actually kills the mold spores. So I just, 1 little drop on there, and I put on my mask, and I'm like, oh, I got to go into Walmart. But at least I get to breathe oils, you know? So another thing is rosemary. So some of these oils I'm going to mention actually help with fat loss. Why not wear your mask and burn some fat? Okay?
No kidding.
So rosemary is actually aids in fat loss. It's a fat-burning oil, and also fennel is. Fennel is a natural diuretic. So it removes toxins from your body, and it's a digestive helper. So maybe you just ate and you have to go run errands, so you put a little drop of fennel on your mask, and it's going to help your digestion, and that's going to help you burn fat when you assimilate your nutrients better. And grapefruit for the win on this one too, because it's another fat-burning oil. How about you need empowerment to get through that office meeting where you have to wear a mask? Try ginger, the oil of empowerment.
I love ginger.
Yeah. And it's actually a heating, like a thermogenic, so it's good for the thyroid. You breathe that in and you're going to have like that thermogenic feel in your body. Cinnamon is another one. Cinnamon's another weight loss one where you breathe in cinnamon. And what's cool about cinnamon is it'll actually conquer cravings. So if you breathe cinnamon in, you're like, oh, I got to go in that pizza place and I really want pizza, but I know I should get something else. Put some cinnamon in there, and then you'll be like, oh, I think I'm going to have the gluten-free cauliflower crust pizza with lots of vegetables. So
I'm picturing me just taking cinnamon and throwing it on my face.
Try that and let me know how that works for you. All right, let's see if I missed any other ones. And again, check with our, on-site oil guru, because she is much better at oils than I am. But why not make the most of the mask when you have to wear it and try some oils inside your mask? Chances are you can do things like peppermint to help with like mood lifting, or maybe you need to calm down, so you're going to do like some ylang ylang and things like that. So lavender is another one, but I have to always be careful with lavender because it promotes estrogen in the body, so you have to be careful with that one.
Why does it? Why?
So that brings us to a close here. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you do have more questions, always you can post them or message us, because we try to keep these Facebook Lives at least once a month or once every other month. We also have some great products that we've brought in, the Jocko line that we showed you here, so the Go. We have a lot of the different Go drinks that have magnesium in it. They also have things like B12 to give you a little bit of energy. And I like acetyl L-carnitine in here, which helps with fat burning. So that's really cool too. We have great protein powders. We also have a sleep supplement called Hypnos that has magnesium in it as well. And we have a testosterone booster, since testosterone helps with sleep too. So, and working out. That's all I got.
Or you can read Rachel's 18-page letter front and back.
All right, and with that, welcome Bunny to our team here, and we will chat at you later. All right.
Are we out?
We're out.
Bye!
Bye. Promo code time. You know what? ATP Science products are some of the best supplements on the market to date that I have used personally and recommended to my nutrition clients for years. They were developed by a naturopathic doctor, and he's meticulous about handcrafted ingredients. And these ATP Science products are some of the most effective supplements I have used and seen used with my clients. So here's some of my favorite products. The hydrolyzed No Whey collagen protein powder is delectable. The Alpha Prime product helped regulate my hormones after toxic mold exposure, and the CordarX product helped immensely with regulating my cortisol and sleep. And I cannot say enough about their topical rubs, Subcut, and my personal favorite, the Blocky 3. So Blocky 3 is actually really great for blocking harmful estrogen just underneath the skin and preventing that buildup of cellulite and kind of the lumpy bumpies. So I've got a promo code for you for their website, atpscience.com. You get 10% off site-wide, and they have quite a few amazing products. You're going to use coupon code Jodelle, that's Jodelle, to save 10% today on atpscience.com. Go there right now and get your products.